What is going on, guys? PXCam20 back in with a brand new video. We are here for a brand new week of daily races, as we're going to be doing our very first daily race C today in our Toyota GR Super Racing concept. And you can see right here we are in a really good lobby, as we have a lot of A+ rank players and S rank players. So we're gonna have to be on top of our toes, make sure that we implement our strategy as best as we can, as we only have the mediums and the hards on this race. Those are gonna be the required tires. We actually have to use both of them. So the strategy here is gonna be running mediums for 3 laps, switch off to the hards, run the hards for 2 laps, and then switch off to the mediums on lap number 5. So that's going to be the strategy for this race, and again, we just gonna have to implement it as best as we can, not make any mistakes, and just push. As you can see, we are starting in 12th place with a 2:16 flat. So let's see what we can do here as we jump up into the race. Now, before we jump into the race, if you guys really enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video, as it really helps out the channel when you guys do so. Anyways, that's enough promoting myself. Let's jump straight into the race. So as we jump up into the race here, you can see that we are starting in 12th place again in the Toyota Supra, but ahead of us in 1st and 2nd place, they're actually using a Nissan GTR. And that's one thing I really like about this race, is that I don't know if you guys were able to tell, but there's just a lot of different cars that are being used on this race. It's not dominated by just one car. So it just brings in a different element in here. As you can see, we are coming down to the start finish line, heading down into turn number 1. We're right behind the Ferrari here as we head into turn number 1. A car ahead of us actually goes out a little bit wide. We're able to keep it pinched down to the inside, run our line, as we're able to catch up a little bit onto the Ferrari right ahead of us. So coming to the S section here, really tricky part here, is we're gonna have to stay on the throttle, full throttle, as we come out of the final part of the S section. Coming down to this long left-hander here, we're making a move onto the inside of the Ferrari. Brake very late. The Ferrari gives us space, and we're able to make up 11th place as we now focus our sights on the Alpha, I believe, right ahead of us. So made a move on the Ferrari. We're going to cover the inside here as we come into this slow hairpin down to the right-hand side. Ferrari actually outbrakes himself as he tries to make a move onto the outside, but we're still right behind 10th and 9th place as we gain a ton of time on them. The Volkswagen on the inside gets a little loose coming out of that corner there. As we're coming out of this left-hander, you see the Volkswagen and the Alpha actually fighting with each other as we come out into this left-hander again. We're right behind the Volkswagen here as we're getting a ton of time on him. Now on his back bumper as we come into this long sweeping left-hander. We're making a move onto the inside, and the Volkswagen actually gets caught up on the grass, and he goes out into the wall, and we're able to overtake him as we are now in 10th place. Focus our sight on the red Alpha right ahead of us, and that's going to be our next target as we come into this next hairpin on the right-hand side. So braking right after that yellow marker on the bottom. We try to make a move onto the inside, but it's a little too optimistic, and the Alpha just gets a better run coming out of the corner there, and we gotta concede the position as we are trying to just find any lane on the racetrack to try to make a move onto the inside of the Alpha as we're coming to this left-hander here. Small little hairpin, braking right after the letters on the floor there. We're making a move onto the inside here as we give him a little bit of a tap, and we're now on the outside coming into this right-hander. Let's see if we can try to make a move onto the outside, but we have to back out of there, as this is a one-lane turn here. As the Alpha goes out a little bit wide, makes contact with the wall, and let's see what happens here as we're able to overtake him. Just gets very loose, clips the grass, and from there it's just over, and we're able to make up 3 positions in 1 lap, as we are now right behind the Huracan heading into the final corner. So now, setting our sights on the Huracan as we come out of the final corner, you see the car right ahead of us actually has a penalty, so let's see if that's going to come into our favor as we come later into this lap now. Jumping into the middle part of lap number 2, we're still right behind the Huracan as we're staying right behind him. Heading into the slow corner now, braking right before the shadow of the trees. The Huracan actually outbrakes himself and goes straight into the wall, and we're able to make up 8th place because of that. So just mistakes happening left and right that are costing cars, and we're just picking up the pieces there as we're coming out of this left-hander here. Fast forwarding now to the sweeping left-hander. Coming off into the straightaway here, reaching the penalty zone. As you see, 7th place has to serve his penalty, but that's actually not going to help us enough, as 7th place just has too large of a lead ahead of us, and we're not going to be able to catch up to him. As you can see now, the mediums are just starting to wear out. As on the bottom left, you can see the wear is real, as we are almost out of a tire grip on these mediums. So we're going to have to switch off here, coming up soon as we come into the hairpin. So coming to the hairpin, we're still setting our sights on 7th place, just trying to minimize the mistakes here and just keep it as steady as we can. drive as smooth as we can as we're gonna head into this very difficult right left. And you see 7th place actually goes out wide, hits the wall. Let's see what happened here as we come out of that corner. Let's claim 2 victims here. He just clips, I don't know what happened there. He just clips the right hand curves and it just propelled him straight into the wall. So not sure exactly what happened there, but we're gonna take it as we are now up into 7th after starting in 12th place and jumping into lap number 3. So coming to the final corner now of lap number 3, you see the top cars ahead of us are switching off and coming into the pits. We're gonna come into the pits as the mediums are just done, and we're gonna switch off from the mediums to the hards, use the hards for 2 laps here. Switch the tires now, and you can see that there's a car right behind us on the radar, so we're gonna have to focus on him as we come into the first corner. Just hit all our marks and make sure the car right behind us does not find any chance to overtake us as we come out into this middle sector of lap number 4. So coming to the middle sector now, we're defending the inside here as the Supra is trying to make a move onto the outside, try to get a cut back on us as we're gonna keep it onto the inside and cover the inside line coming to this left-hander. We do it to textbook perfection as we're able to hold our line here as we are still on the hards, so we're going to be on the weaker tires. Not sure if the car behind us is on the hards or the mediums, but if he's on the mediums, we're going to just have to hold him off for 2 laps, and we should be able to get the advantage once we switch off back onto the mediums there. So coming into this left-hander, you see that the Supra is just getting a ton of time on us, and he's getting a really good exit here off of the long sweeping left-hander, and he's getting a really good exit on the straight line now. Going down the straightaway, we're on the inside line as we're coming to this hairpin. Brake very early so we don't make contact with the Supra. He gets a little bit loose though coming out of the exit, but we have to give up the position there as we did not have enough room to try to make a move onto the inside coming out of that corner, and we fall back in line right behind the Supra as we head into the hairpin. So braking right after the R, painted on the floor, we try to just make a move onto the inside, again just too far back, get a little loose coming out of the left-hander. We concede 8th position as we head into this right and left-hander, jumping into lap number 5 now. So coming out of here, we're going to jump up into lap number 5, and we actually have a car right behind us that's trying to fight us for position as we're coming into this long left-hander. He's still trying to make a move onto the inside of us as we actually got a train of cars right behind us. We're trying to defend the inside here as we come into this hairpin, brake as late as we can to try to cover the inside. And we're able to do so there as we kind of go a little bit wide coming out of the exit, but it's not going to hurt us as it's going to be onto another left-hander as we jump up into the replay. You see we have to just make our car 3-4 lanes wide as we come into the right-hander, and we're able to do so. And again, we're going to be on the inside now coming to this next left-hander, so we should be able to defend this position here. Coming in with a narrow entrance into this left-hander. We're gonna come out a little bit wide, but the car right behind us is trying to make a move onto the inside. We try to cover him, but we are unable to do so. Go a little too wide coming out of that right-hander. We clip the grass, but luckily it doesn't affect us too much as we lose the position to the Nissan. Heading to this long left-hander, we're gonna have to come into the pits here and switch off the hards to the mediums as we are coming out of this long left-hander, coming down to the straightaway. So coming out of the final corner now, we're gonna have to come in for the mediums. As you see a couple cars ahead of us coming to the pits, but we actually don't. We actually missed the window there, and the cars behind us actually come into the pits, so we make a mistake as we were supposed to come in from the hards, or switch off the hards to the mediums, and now we're going to get pressure from the cars behind us as we're coming down into turn number 1, heading to the S section. So coming out of this left-hander here, we're getting pressure now. As you see the car behind us actually clips something. I think he clipped the grass and just spun out there, and that lessens the pressure on us as we are still in 9th place on lap number 6 as we're going to have to switch off the hards to the mediums, and we actually overdrive the corner. You can see the tires are just wearing out very fast, and we have no grip on these tires as we're going to come into the pit now. So costly mistake. Let's see how much it's going to cost us as we're coming in, switching off from the hards to the mediums. Coming out now, we actually lose 2 positions to the cars that were right behind us before we came into the pit. And now we have to claw our way back up into 9th place as you see the Huracans right ahead of us as we head into the first corner now. So now on lap number 7 as we head into the hairpin, we just try to brake as late as we can since we do have at least a lap better of tires. And the tire wear here is about 15 times. You see there's on the left hand side there's a Volkswagen on the grass. Not sure what happened to him as we come into the replay. Let's see what happened. It just looks like he lost power. Not sure what happened. He's not accelerating, not braking. I don't think he ran out of gas, but it's just for some reason he's just parked on the left-hand side, and there we come, our gaggle of cars. So Not sure exactly what happened to the Volkswagen. Very, very weird. Not sure if the controller disconnected or what, but that gives us an extra position as we are now heading into the final part of lap number 7. So coming to this long sweepy left-hander, as we fast forward here, we're gonna head into the hairpin, try to break as late as we can, and try to make up as much time on the Huracan ahead of us, but we're unable to do so. So now we just have a lap and a half to try to push the car as best as we can and try to make any type of maneuver and put ourselves in a position to overtake the Huracan as we head into this hairpin, again leading us into the final sector. So we do have better grip than the Huracan ahead of us, so we should be able to at least fight him here and try to at least make a overtake somewhere on this final lap as we're heading into this left-hander. This left-hander is very, very tricky. I don't know why I can never get it correctly, but we go a little bit wide as we head into the final corner now. As we jump up into the last lap, heading to the hairpin again on the final lap. You see the 7th and 8th are actually fighting with each other as they're beating and banging, heading to this left-hander here. The Huracan is gaining on them, and we're getting time on them too, so that should help us out. If they keep fighting with each other, we should be able to catch up to the Huracan, and maybe we could try to make a move onto the Huracan as we head into the final part of the last lap. Coming to this left-hander again, the tricky left-hander. We actually clip it very, very wrong. Go a little bit wide as we head into the final corner, and we're just a little too far back to make any type of move. As you see, 7th and 8th are still fighting with each other, and that involves the Huracan now, as he's able to catch up to them. Coming out of the final corner on the final lap, we're unable to catch up to the Huracan and the cars ahead of him, and we're gonna finish the race in 10th place, as we did start in 12th, so we're able to gain 2 positions there. And yeah, very, very entertaining races. A lot of cars just made a lot of mistakes. We were just able to capitalize on that, but we have to get a little bit faster on this racetrack, as it's very, very difficult. You have to clip your apexes very, very well and get easy on the throttle when you come out and just slam on the throttle on turns that you have to. But very, very difficult track. Again, just very, very happy to see, you know, abundance of cars. It's not just one specific car that's dominating the entire races. This is one of the top splits for the North American lobbies. But yeah, if you guys really enjoyed the video, again, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the videos. It really helps out the channel. And anyways, I hope to see you guys on the next video. Peace out.